Going in for the gusto. Just shovel it in there. That is delicious. This is a recipe I'll be making from now on. Can't get it in my mouth fast enough. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be making keto cloud bread pizza. This is a recipe that I've seen and I've been interested in it for a long time. I've seen this recipe on TikTok for a while now. I think it's a viral recipe, but I want to try it out for myself and see if it's any good and see if it ticks off that pizza box. So let's get started with this recipe. First, we're going to make some toppings for my pizza. We're going to crisp up some bacon in the air fryer because I like it in the air fryer and it's nice and easy. So here I have a pack of bacon that we want to open up. Thank you, Costco. I don't know how you open these things up anymore. They should have like one of those like Ziploc bag kind of things. It would be nice. So we'll just cut a few pieces up here into little squares. Actually, no, we'll do them in kind of rectangle-ish kind of pieces. And then we'll stick them in the air fryer. So we'll just rip off some tin foil here. I use this as my air fryer liner. If it rips off properly, great. Air fryer's kind of dirty already. I didn't clean it from the last time, but this is what a nice liner is for. Clean it at the end of the week kind of thing. We'll just put the bacon bits in there like so. I like big chunks of bacon in my on my pizza. I want to be able to taste it. And we'll fry those in the air fryer for 20 minutes at 290. I also have a little ground beef that I'm gonna brown up in a frying pan. Why not? Why not make a nice deluxe pizza? Let's do it. We got our pan nice and hot. Let's turn it down a bit. Then we want to add some beef tallow if I can get the thing open. Because beef is not fatty enough. They remove everything. We'll put this in a bowl. We'll save it for later. All right, that's done. Let's put that aside for now and let it cool off, and then we'll get to making the dough. So the first thing we want to do is we want to separate two eggs from their egg yolks. We want the whites and the yolks in separate bowls. So let's do that now. Just got to be very careful that you don't get yolks in there. Easiest way to do it is just to keep transferring it back and forth from shell to shell. All right, we'll put those aside for now. Now I got my blender mixer cup here. To that, I am going to add roughly about a 1/4 cup cottage cheese. So I'm just gonna eyeball it a little bit. I've got the numbers on the side here. That seems about right. What we want to do is we want to mix it together so it's not so chunky. Perfect. We'll set that aside for now. We'll be using that in a little minute. Now what we want is we want to add 1 tablespoon, and I'm just going to use a literal tablespoon, of cottage cheese. That's about right. Now we want to put the egg yolk in there. See if I can get it all out of here without making a mess. These look like dog bowls. And now we're going to pulse that all together. now what we want to do is we want to whip the egg whites until we got stiff peaks. Let's do it. So that's stiff peaks. When it's kind of stiff. There we go. I think that's the right consistency. When it's stiff and it peaks. Stiff peaks. I think we're good. Now what we want to do is gently fold that other batter in very carefully, little bits at a time. We don't want to defluff it. We just want to make a cloud-like batter, or so to speak. All right, that looks pretty good. A cookie sheet lined with some parchment paper, and we just want to put it on there, right in the middle, sort of like so. So let's just spread that around in the shape of a pizza, sort of. Now obviously if you were cooking for a whole lot of people, you would just double the recipe or make multiple trays. I think that's kind of round-ish. All right, let's stick that in the oven. So in my oven here, you can see I have a pizza stone. I want to actually, once I'm done the first baking, I want to maybe remove it and put it on that pizza stone so I can get a nice crispy bottom like a classic pizza. We're gonna just put this in the oven for now. We're gonna bake it for about 20 minutes, but we'll eyeball it and we'll see what happens. All right guys, now that that's in the oven, let's talk about some additional toppings I want to put on there. Some cheese and some pepperoni and some other stuff I'm going to do to try to make the pizza really nice. Let's do it. So I want to add some garlic butter when I do the second bake. So we're just going to put some butter into a bowl here. That should be good. I actually want to melt that in the microwave just a little bit. So it was too cold. And then I want to add some garlic to that. Essentially, we're making a garlic butter. And we want to add a bit of sea salt. Extra salty butter. Instead of adding mozzarella cheese, we're going to add cheese curds, full fat cheese curds. I love cheese curds on pizza because they kind of taste like old school mozzarella. They're rich and salty and delicious, and I haven't had pizza in a while, but the pizza cheese they're using now is bland and it has no flavor. These cheese curds have a lot of flavor, so let's do it. All right, here I have my cheese curds. I want to chop them up a little bit. I don't want it to be like in Italy they put big chunks of cheese on it. You can see where they sort of melt, but I like a more dispersed. I want it to cover the whole pizza, and so I'm just going to give them a rough chop, kind of chop them a little bit. There you go. That's kind of what I'm looking for, like a rough chop, just a little smaller than they were. All right, that's been in there for a good 25 minutes. I think we're done. We're gonna take it out and add the toppings. So it's fairly crispy and nice looking. I like it this crispy. If you like it a little less, you can adjust that to your taste or bake it a little less. So this was in an oven at 350 for about a good 25 minutes. And you can adapt depending on the oven you have. Your oven may take longer or less, just adjust accordingly. So let's put some toppings on here. Let's first start with a little bit of this beef. I'm not putting any sauce on here because I don't like sauce on my pizza. That's just me. If you have a little bit of marinara sauce or pizza sauce, that's totally up to you. All right, that looks pretty good for the beef. Let's add some of these bacon bits. That's gonna rip them a little bit smaller than they were. Then we'll go on there with the cheese. I like a lot of cheese. All right, that's a lot of cheese. That's just the way I like it. Now we're gonna go on with some pepperoni. I have to say this is a little over the top. But whatever, we love lots of meat and cheese on a pizza. Now we're gonna add little splashes of that butter. Full fat, full flavor. Gotta figure out how to get it off the spoon. And then to top it off, we're gonna do a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Freshly grated. I changed my mind. I think I'm just gonna leave it on the tray because it's gonna be a fairly drippy, goopy pizza and I don't want it to drip everywhere. So we'll just leave it on the tray, stick it in there, and then we'll melt everything. I think it's gonna be good. All right, that's been in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now I purposely burned it because that's the way I like it. I like it nice and crispy and dark on the outside. That may be a bit much for some people, but the crispier the better. But you can pull it out sooner if you like. All right, this pizza has been cooling for about 5 minutes. Let's put a little bit of olive oil on there because I like it. Fresh olive oil on the top. Like I said, guys, I love it nice and crispy and charred. But let's hack this up. Let's give her a cut. It's coming apart. All right, guys, now for the fun part, I get to eat it. Let's give this a go. I think I'm gonna eat this like a starved junkyard dog. I've been wanting to try this for a long time. It's been around for a while. Let's give it a go. That's pretty good. That kind of ticks the pizza boxes. That is really good. Go in for another bite. Let's go for the fold. Oh, that's good. That checks the pizza box for me. Let's rip off a piece of this crust. I love it nice and charry and burnt. Crispy pepperoni. Yeesh, that's good. Going in for the gusto. Just shovel it in there. That is delicious. This is a recipe I'll be making from now on. Can't get it in my mouth fast enough. What else can I say? That is keto pizza heaven there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.